Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I was thinking, I bought an iPad some time ago, some months ago, and I was thinking to do a review about this iPad Air. It is an artist's perspective, so I will not enter in tech details or anything, but I think it can be useful. Disclaimer note, this is not a sponsored review in any way. I am just an artist that some months ago wanted to buy an iPad to draw. In the past I had one, some years ago, but I didn't like the experience so much. But it was a time that there was no Apple Pencil, no pressure sensitive or etc. Now finally I am prepared to give the iPad another try with this one. As I told you, I will not talk about tech specs. There are a lot of YouTube videos talking about these things, about this iPad in comparison with other models. My review is a more personal point of view. Basically, I want to answer the questions: how is the experience of drawing on the iPad Air? Is it worth it to spend that money? And the answers to these questions are not so straightforward. First of all, why the iPad Air? In this case, the 2019 model. I think it gives an amazing price for value. Yes, the Apple Pencil second generation is better. Yes, there is less delay in the iPad Pro. Yes, the iPad Pro has more processing capacity, etc. That is all true, but we are talking about another price point. So why is it a good price for value? I will start with the question. A bigger screen isn't better, you may ask that. So for me personally, definitely no. As a general rule of thumb, the bigger you draw, the more detail you have to put in your drawing. So for someone like me that doesn't like to spend so much time in one drawing, it is important to keep small formats. In 10 minutes I can be satisfied with the result. On the other hand, I like to draw on locations, so the portability of the iPad is something that is really important to me. The bigger the iPad, the heavier, and it takes a lot of space in my bag. So screen size is really not a problem for me. This is more than enough. I can show you more or less in, how I draw and the process. You can see here what I'm doing, and I even don't put the image normally occupying the entire screen. I zoom out and I start with it little, and then if I am putting more detail in the drawing, then I can zoom in and to add that detail. But it is always good for me, and if you are learning to draw, it is always good to work with small formats. You don't have to put so much detail in the drawing, and it is good because you will not lose yourself in the little ins and outs of the things around you. So you have a much more general view, much more fast. How the iPad performs in terms of drawing. So keep in mind that I am using it with Procreate. I don't know about other apps, but with Procreate, which is right now is my favorite app, it is good. The first impression when you use the iPad, if you are used to drawing on paper, is that the screen is slippery and it has a lot of reflections. This is not so good, although you can correct this slipperiness and the reflections with a screen protector. In this iPad, I am using the Paperlike screen protector. I can do a review about this. It is nice, it has some problems, but okay, it makes the surface not so slippery and it cuts a lot of reflections, so it corrects that part. The rest is amazing, the freedom to undo, to use different brushes, colors, exploring new techniques, etc. It all adds to the experience. Of course, a lot of possibilities in many situations means confusion and uncertainty. I definitely would not recommend an iPad to someone that is just starting to draw. Really, for that I have other advices. But for someone that is already drawing regularly, very comfortable with pen and paper, then why not? It will make your visual vocabulary more rich, and it is a very good way of keeping you excited with drawing, encouraging new experiments, which is something really important. It is always good to explore new media, new papers, new pens, new brushes. It will always make your visual vocabulary more rich. So why not adding an iPad? I think it is a good experience. Moving on to another topic, which is about the pressure sensitive. As you can see, if you already tried the iPad, you know that with the Apple Pencil, this is pressure sensitive. It is a good thing, but it is not exactly a must. Keep in mind that for a lot of artists, the pressure sensitive is not so important. Although it is cool to play with it, it doesn't necessarily mean it is something essential. For example, on paper I usually draw with a Lamy fountain pen, and that is not pressure sensitive. What I'm saying is that a lot of artists don't want the line to vary in terms of weight according to the pressure of the pen. So it really depends on the kind of media that you want to explore, or on the kind of media that you are already used to working with on paper, and if pressure sensitive is something important. So in any way, okay, it is always good to have that possibility, of course, but it is not, for me it would not be a must. I probably would buy the iPad if it didn't have this pressure sensitive thing. Palm rejection is very important for writing, of course. So if you rest the palm of your hand in the paper, in Procreate, it will not interfere with the process of drawing. It doesn't count that as a contact. So, by the way, I am doing all these references in the context of Procreate. I can make some tutorials about this app, about this drawing app. If you want, just let me know in the comment section below, and I can do in the future. So another thing is you can tilt the pen. Again, something useful if you are used to tilt a pencil, for example. Otherwise, not so important. But hey, it is like the pressure sensitivity. It is always nice to have those functionalities. Of course, it will depend on if you are learning how to draw or more involved. If you are just learning, it is just one more thing that can create some confusion. Too many options are not so good in the beginning. You should keep it simple and focusing on the essentials, which is to to draw a line in a correct way, not exactly working with different kinds of lines. Another thing to pay attention on the iPad, which can be a limitation and can be a problem for some people, is the layer limitation. So the bigger the image resolution, the more limited you will be in terms of quantity of layers that you can use. So this is not so important for me because I don't like to work with too many layers and I am always merging the ones I am using. But if you are that kind of artist that likes to separate a lot of things through layers, so keep this in mind. Maybe you should look for an iPad Pro or something more powerful that you can use more layers and it will not slow down the tablet or anything. So, in conclusion, it is definitely an amazing tool for my needs and tastes. I really like it, and I really enjoy the experience with the iPad. As I told you, I am using it with a screen protector, which is the Paperlike. It is nice. I wanted to put a screen protector basically for two reasons. One, to cut the reflections. Two, to make it less slippery. The Paperlike they say it will feel like paper. I don't think it feels exactly like paper, but it is a nice add-on to the iPad. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if yes, please help me by supporting the channel. You can subscribe, hit the bell, or give me a like on this video. Enjoy it, share it, and questions, please drop them in the comments below so I can get back to you. See you.